If you've been scrolling on YouTube Shorts or TikTok these days, I'm sure you've come across videos like these. You've asked yourself, how hard is it to make these kind of videos, and can I become internet famous? Well, wait no longer, my good friend. I'm here to show you the animation application and the basic knowledge to start you off on your Blender journey. Let's get into it. So, you've opened up Blender after downloading it. This is what you see. Loads of little things going on, and it might make you a bit confused, but don't worry about it. It's not as hard as you think to get the basics done. So this is what we see on our first thing. We see the recent files. This is what I've been working on, and this is where you can start video editing, sculpting, 2D animation if you wanted, or just general, which is what we see behind us. So we'll click off that. This is what we see. This is our 3D viewport. This is where basically your scene. So you've got a cube, a camera, and a light. Over at the top you've got an outliner. This is basically showing you in like a list form of what we see on here. And then you've got properties. So this is anything to do with what render engines you want to use, format. So this will be what the camera's filming in when you render it. So 1920 by 1080. Frames, output. This is where your renders will get saved to. Obviously I've not saved it to anything, so it's just going to temporary. Materials, so let's quickly do one now. So I've highlighted the cube. I'm going to click base color and then blue. Switch over to viewport shading. It's now blue. Now you know what you're looking at. Let's now take one step forward and actually create a new item. So we're going to delete what everything on the screen is. So the camera, the light, and the cube itself. We can either press X, which brings up this, or you can press delete, which I do. After that you can hold left shift and A, which brings down this little drop down thing. As you can see I've got a little few extra things, but we can go into that later. But we'll move over to mesh here and we can just make a cube. Puts a cube back right in the center. What we'll talk over now is G key, R key, S key, and shift D. So your G, you can press G on your keyboard whilst you've highlighted the cube, and you can move it around free. You can either press left click, which just stops it where you've put it. Or you can press G again, and you go, oh, I don't want it there. Press right click, it's going to move it back. You can also press G, so now it's going to be able to move, but I can press Z, which goes up and down on the axis. Y on one of the horizontal plane axes, or X on the red axis. So after you've done that, you've gone, right, I'm happy where it is. You press R, and this is your rotate. You can rotate it this way, or you can double click R, and you can rotate it that way, just for a bit of a smoother rotation. Now you can move on to S. You press S, and you can just scroll or move the mouse up and down, up and down, up and down. It makes it massive, make it really small. And then the final thing is Shift D once the cube or whatever you have on your screen highlighted. You have another one. Easy as that. So I've got one already there. So we can just do what we said, press G, and I can move it left or right, up or down, forwards or backwards in this case. So let's just leave it there. So we've got two cubes. Best way to learn is just to throw everything at it. Just do it all by yourself. Just get copy and paste about 1,000 cubes. Probably not, maybe like one or two, and then just be able to rotate, delete, move, and rotate. That's probably the best way of doing it. We're now going to move on to everybody's favourite thing about Blender is lighting. So let's make it a bit more pleasing. As instead of just having this floating cube here, let's just make a plane. So put a floor in. You want to hold Shift A, mesh, and then add plane. You can see it's highlighted inside, so we're just going to move it out, move it out, move it out, move like so. So that's nicely just sat on top of our plane. What we're going to do is just add some colour to this, just to, one of my favourite colours is light blue. And then we'll do the same down here. It's down to material. If there's no material already shown, you press this little plus button, it'll add a new material slot. So we'll press base color and we'll make this a just like a dark color. So we can use this scroll. So now we've got this grey with a blue cube L-shaped thing on our screen. So if we press Shift A, come down our little tab, we come to light. So you've got point, sun, spot, and area. So we just put area on there. I'm going to size it up, press G, then hold middle mouse, and come up on the Z axis. And this is it. This is where the light's going to shine down, and now we've opened up this new little tab here, data tab. So the light's going to be white, and this is the power. So if we turn over to viewport shading, this is where the magic really happens. So if we start moving this up, we can start on top of that blue cube, we can see the light coming in now. So if we put that to 1500, we can see it. There's a light there now. Maybe we want to add another. Shift D on the light. We now have another one. Press G. Go across on the X-axis. We're happy like that. But it's not aiming at it. So you come down here to rotate. So you now basically got a little gimbal, which you can now rotate towards the cube. So if we put it slightly off center, like that, this is what we're working with. Now you're happy with the rendered image you've been given. You can go down to output, which looks like a little printer. Scroll down under format, there's an output that's going to place that image in a certain folder that you want. So you just click on that little folder, save it in rendered images, press OK twice, and then press F12 again. Then that image is going to be rendered there for you. Now we're happy with the lighting and everything, we can now add a camera to get that rendered image for us, or rendered animation. So if we press Shift A, come down to camera, we now have the camera there, you can see it's just highlighted. If we hold G and up on the axis, come back on the X-axis, it's now in like in a rough place where we want it. We can press 0 or press the camera icon up on here. We're now looking at this. If you press this padlock, it means you can move the camera where you'd like it. So we can move it up or down, zoom in, zoom out, and if we hold Shift, we can then move it left or right, up or down in that way. So when you're happy like that, that's how I'm happy with. You can come up here and press render image or render animation. We'll go into animations and keep putting little key markers in on this little timeline down the bottom in another video. But if you just press render and then render image, it will produce an image, and it will, wherever you saved it down here, it will turn up. As you can see here, this is the rendered image that I created, and I also created a little animation. We can go into that further detail, but that is just the basics of Blender. If you're interested, I can move on to other things that you can do with it, so just leave a comment down below and that'd be greatly appreciated. I know what people from the audience are wanting. But all I've got to say is thanks for listening, and I hope to see you again soon. Cheers.